Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of the Saints Nation podcast. I'm here with Cooper and Bem, and what a great win it was on the weekend, getting it done in Adelaide against Port Adelaide by, what was it in the end? 17 points?
17 points.
17.
Yes,
Great
kicked away
game.
late.
And yeah, what do you guys think of the game?
Uh,
Actually, first, how could we forget? There's one man.
This is Bem's time to shine. Go, Bem.
This is my time to shine. This is
One man
my
we
time
have
to
to
shine.
acknowledge. Lance Collard.
Are you serious?
Is Lance Collard the best thing since sliced bread?
He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
He's the best number
He's
4
my GOAT.
ever, I think.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, 100%.
Who's Jade Gresham?
I don't know.
Who's Tony Lockett?
Quick
Lance Collard clears.
Quick thank you to Jade Gresham for wanting to leave St Kilda. He wanted to play more midfield minutes. He wanted to play at the MCG, even though we went to Essendon, whose
Odd.
home ground
Odd.
is Marvel.
Very odd.
Very.
But Jade Gresham gave us Lance Collard, and Lance Collard in the past 3 games has done more than Jade Gresham ever has for our footy club.
Jeez, that's a bit stiff on Crash, but okay.
Well, what we're talking about today, obviously we've got the game analysis, fantastic game against Port Adelaide. We'll also be, as always, talking about the questions you guys sent in. If you want to send in your questions for next week's pod, make sure to follow Saints Nation AU on Instagram. That's where you can do it on his stories, I believe is where you do it. And then we'll also be talking a little bit about our predictions against GWS in Gather Round. But we're going to start with the fantastic effort against Port Adelaide on the weekend.
What a win.
Great
it was
game.
fantastic, wasn't it, boys?
Yep, our first victory against Port since 2020, not including just over there as well.
Yes.
So great. So, Paddy Ryder was in that team. I want to say Jake Carlisle was in that team. It was a long time ago.
I think Matty Parker and Nick Hine played that game too.
Yes,
Dean
they
Kent,
did. Dean
Dean
Kent.
Kent.
Jack Sinclair, that was the first game he returned after being in the twos all year. And don't forget that Tim Membry goal of the year.
Jackie
Rob.
Chan.
Absolutely
Jackie Chan.
robbed.
It's just fallen onto his boot, but okay.
No, it was punched onto his boot. And I knew as soon as that happened that it was a goal.
Oh,
But,
I don't even count that as a win though, 2020, because I don't remember as much. Like there's no fans.
I remember it very clearly.
This is one of the best away wins I reckon we've had.
There was fans, though.
Yeah, but like not as much as
We've
them.
won there 4 times out of our past 20.
Yeah.
Well,
we've won.
doesn't
Hey,
matter.
we've won there one time and us
And-
one. That's all that matters.
In our last 16 matches, so out of the competition, their last 16 matches, Brisbane won the premiership. They've won 14 of their past 16 games.
They're quite good.
Mm-hmm.
Hawthorn, they've won 13 of their past 16 games. Everyone thinks they're going to be good this year, be in the finals. And then in third place, St Kilda at 11. We've won 11 out of our past 16 games.
Pretty impressive, one would think. For a bottom 14.
For a bottom 14.
Still
where
bottom 4. You doubled down on that today too.
Did he
Yeah.
actually?
Yeah,
Yeah.
doubled down on it. Said that we're still
what a
bottom 4.
toss. What an absolute toss
such a
game
young
going.
team.
Yes.
And-
4th youngest list.
Yeah, we're going to play finals in a rebuilding year. This is a rebuilding
he's
year.
gone
for
early,
the
he's
club.
gone early.
He's gone
We're gonna play
really early,
finals.
but
It's round 4.
A win like that, like away,
it sets up your season.
was a great
we've
win.
held on against teams that played in a prelim last year in
Mhm.
Geelong and Port Adelaide. And,
It just
it
just shows how important the fast starts are.
yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, we did it against Geelong and we were able to hold on. I mean, we didn't play well in that second half at all. We just completely switched off. But I didn't feel like we switched off as bad in this game.
Yeah.
Obviously, they were really pushing at us, but I felt like we always responded. Like,
Yeah.
they were pushing us in the second quarter, but the lead didn't balloon out. They really
Yeah.
pushed us in the third quarter. It only ballooned out by 1 goal or 2
Yeah,
goals
it'd always
max.
get close and then
Yeah.
we'd kick a few.
Yeah, and again, same thing happened in the fourth quarter. They kicked the first 2 goals, and then Jack Sinclair, fantastic moment, boots it from 50, and then your man, Lance Collard,
Kicks the sealer.
kicks the sealer.
That's a great goal.
Yeah,
Should
really.
have had 3.
Yeah. Again, we're talking about the good starts. It was our best first quarter ever at Adelaide
Yeah.
Oval, which is really
That
important.
is crazy.
I think it was
Breaking some
37
records.
points or
Yeah.
something.
40, I think.
I think it was
40?
40 to 22. I think at the end of the first, which is
Nah.
I don't think so.
No.
40 to 16.
40-16. Okay, 1 goal.
Sorry.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Yeah, you should be. But yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. Jack Sinclair's goal, that makes him the leader in coaches' votes in the entirety of the AFL at the moment.
That is crazy.
4 games played, I believe he's got 21 or 22 votes. I think it's 22.
22.
Yeah, 22. So showing he's back to his best after a really poor game against Adelaide. Isaiah Wanganeen-Miller back to his best.
Yeah.
He was lacing out some kicks this
So
weekend. Really important. He had some really poor kicks in the
He's
first half against
sort
Richmond.
of stopped. Like, he still has that showman aspect to his
Yeah.
game, but he's toned it down a little bit from what it was the past 3 weeks,
Mhm.
and it's just turned him into
He
a
had
much better player.
he had a near perfect game. Besides, I think the rundown tackle in the last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But besides that, he had one of the best games I reckon I've seen him play.
Yeah. His decision making was spot on on Sunday. And then you also had Lancey Collard. We've talked about him a little bit. 8 touches and a goal, but 6 of them were score involvements.
Yeah.
So showing that he's getting involved, he's really dangerous as a small forward. And that's what you want to see from pick 28
Pick
he
28,
was.
yeah,
That's really good. Like, pick 28's a second round pick.
pretty much.
And he's performing at a really high level for a small forward. And he's such a small player as well.
yeah,
Like, he's not big. Like, Nick Watson, he's like 170, but he's quite solid. Lance
Yeah.
Collard is not solid whatsoever.
he's real skinny.
Yeah,
Lance.
but he's performing really, really well. And we can also talk about something that I really like to say, because we have seen plenty times where some of our players get targeted and we don't really back them up. But you can't say that this week.
Yeah.
I love how Garcia's just gone straight to him and put it on the ground.
Yeah.
It's perfect. And nobody even stood the mark here, but it
From,
was great.
Didn't
Great
need
sign
to.
of strength.
yeah, from such a young player in what is 14th, 13th game.
Yeah, but how many
Yeah.
full games is that too?
13
What's
games, I
six?
think it's maybe 6 full games, if that.
Yeah, even I think it was like 4
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
So
me
yeah,
too.
he's gone straight into
Yeah.
Butters
They've
and
got-
Rosie.
They've gone to
Yeah.
Windy because I'm guessing Windy was tagging Rosie at
Uh,
this time.
yeah,
Giving away the
Windy was tagging Rose. He gave away the 50
Yeah.
for, I don't even know
Yeah.
what, they didn't even show it. But then Garcia just went straight into Butters.
And then Butters didn't
Mm.
really do much fighting for the rest of the game.
No,
after this.
Yeah,
he
it was pretty
focused on
quiet.
his
Just put him
footy.
in his place real quick.
He focused on his footy, which almost killed us. But, that's okay. That's okay. Whilst Garcia was also fantastic with his grit, I think,
Stocker.
yeah, Stocker.
Oh,
My God, was he awesome.
He
That
is.
tackle, oh my
Which we don't
days.
have a clip of it, but he is heart and soul. He does everything for that club, and he is a player that every club just needs
Yeah.
to help drive them
Except
towards
Carlton, apparently.
finals. Yeah, and we can touch on that a little bit, that Carlton need a bit of a rough
Could have
player
had-
like Liam
could-
Stocker.
could have had him.
It's someone to set the stage a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
he gets into the best player. Jason Horne-Francis killed us early. Had 3 goals and 15 touches at half time. Stocker went to him and he wasn't as good. He was still threatening, but he wasn't
Still
able
got
to
the
get there.
touches, but he didn't get the goals.
Yeah, correct. Like, there wasn't that forward of ball impact. And speaking of goal kickers now, we do also have an all-Australian small forward in our team for a
Finally,
long time
yeah.
in the forward line. How long has it been since we've had an all-Australian forward?
Oh,
It's got to
All-Australian
be since
forward.
2011
and
Rewalt.
B since
Real and
Rewalt.
Yeah.
Like, that's a long time. That's 15 years almost.
And it's not just Saints supporters that are like, yeah, he's all Australian, because we're all bandwagons. We're like, McRae's all Australian, Rose all Australian,
we
Nasai's
should,
all
we should have
Australian.
about 6 all Australians.
we very well
Yeah.
could.
But I think everyone's sort of happy
6.
with Higo all Australian,
Yeah.
especially at the small forward
It's,
position.
it's not even the 3 goals. It's more doing score involvements.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
the first quarter, he set up 2 goals.
Yeah.
Which he probably normally would have tried to kick himself.
Yeah. He's also, like, there's been times where he's kicked 4 goals and then he goes quiet in the next game.
Yeah.
And I feel like he hasn't done that at all this year. Obviously, we're only 4
Yeah.
games in. But he's showing a lot more consistency than what he had in previous years. He always had this sort of potential, but he never put it together for 10 weeks in a row. He always struggled within games, and I feel like he's being a lot better with that this year.
Yeah, he looks like he's enjoying his footy at the moment.
Mhm.
Everyone looks like they are, which is something I
Yeah.
love about this club at the moment.
That's the first time he's kicked 3 goals in 3 consecutive matches too.
Is it?
Which
Yeah.
shows.
That's awesome.
What did he have? 2 in round 1.
Yeah.
What did he have? 3.
2, 4, 3.
Yeah, all right.
I think. Yeah. it's
Yeah, that makes sense.
4,
And
5.
also, he's tied 4th in the Coleman.
Best
and-
small
Fantastic.
forward though.
Yeah. Next small forward is Paul Curtis with like 10 or 12.
And,
So
and even then, Paul
He's a tall
Curtis is
man.
still a tall, small forward.
yeah.
Like, he's very good in the air. But
No offense to Paul Curtis, but he doesn't influence the game as much as Higgins does.
Paul Curtis is like one of my favourite players outside of the footy club. Like
Hey, we don't need him
he
anymore.
benches 300
Jesus.
300 what?
kilos.
Full of shit.
I wish. But again, Mitch Owen staying on the score sheet. Still struggles a little bit to be involved all throughout the game.
Yeah.
But again, he's just competing.
At least he's kicking his 2.
Correct. Kicked his 2. Could have had more as well. Missed that early one that absolutely I
Oh,
knew he was going to miss from the second he took it. I was like, I know I was going to miss this. I know I was going to miss
His
this.
set shots are still an issue.
Yeah,
Would've
I
been
would have loved for him to snap it.
Would have been a perfect start to the game.
Correct. Mason Wood staying on the score sheet as well,
Course
kicking
he
a
is.
goal. Darcy, I thought this was probably his best game all year.
Yeah.
I thought at times he'd bob up here and there, but this was his most consistent performance by far. Was able to kick a really nice goal on the run,
That was one of the best
which
goals.
was which was
That was a
cross
training
ball.
drill.
It was literally out of the middle, work it around, and then Jones eventually gave it into him, I think.
Yep.
And it was just really awesome. Naz kicked another one as well. That was
Yeah.
in the second quarter.
Something like that.
Yeah, Tootsie
Travalia,
got on the scoreboard, woohoo! And then Cooper Sharman and Max Hall just staying in the score sheet as well. They've got
And
no
Sinclair.
reason. And
That was
we talked about
that was
Sinclair's
the
fantastic
That was
goal.
one of the best goals of the day.
Yeah, but talking about some other things from the game, obviously you had the back line where Georgiades and Lord both kicked 3. I was originally of the thinking that, Caminiti goes to Lord, they've got the size there.
Yeah.
And then Wilkie goes to Georgiades, able to stop him from flying. I still think we got it wrong. Even though we won, even though Georgiades could have kicked more, I still think we got that wrong.
Caminiti just got killed off the run.
Yeah.
And that's something you see a lot when it's a forward turn defender.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, he's not going to know how to time his runs with
Yeah.
Georgiades. And next week, it's going to be a big task on Hogan,
Oh,
on
Well,
Cadman.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a bit in
Riccardi.
terms of the matchups there. But
At least they're marking it. At least they're marking it like outside more,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
not straight in
Yeah.
front of goal, which is like it's perfect for the zone.
There was
too.
a lot of tough angles. Georgiades kicked it out on the 4 once or twice.
Yeah,
yeah,
tried rather than obviously them straight in front.
yeah, he kicked 2 out on the full and 2 goals that he should have kicked, and then kicked 2 goals from the boundary line, which
Yeah.
most of the times he wouldn't. But again, I just thought that they tried to get Wilkie a bit more free in the air, and it just didn't work. And I thought we could have made the switch, but we didn't. Thank the Lord we won. But
Yeah.
you compare that to Leah. He had like 8 intercept marks.
Oh,
So
him and
completely
Nasava
dominates
killed
up.
us.
Yeah. So it shows that we need to bring in a key forward pretty clearly.
Yeah.
King, please, you ready?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Should be back.
I thought something really interesting was how our midfield performed as well. They had the clear talent edge over us. You look at Butters,
Yeah.
Rosie, Horn Francis, Drew and Wines. Compare that to McRae,
McRae,
Garcia,
Travalia.
Jones, Travalia. Like, completely wipes us off
Yeah.
the floor. But yet we were able to, even though Marshall didn't dominate the hitouts, we were able to get on top in the clearances. And we actually scored from them for once, which we never do. Which I thought was huge for us getting in the lead early.
Yeah.
And then also staying in the game when we needed to.
And McRae, like, he was a bit quieter yesterday
Yeah.
than what he has been to start the year, but still, like, 9 clearances, 9 score involvement. So that part of his game is still there, and that's what's most important to our team. Not that he's getting these quick handballs, it's that he's getting the ball forward for us and getting scores on the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And Hill as well. I thought Hill was back to his best. Sort of saw it last week a little bit, but sort of really came into his own here. Back with his speed and running and his ball carrying, which
Yeah.
something we need. And I think with Henry, the way he performed in the VFL, we'll talk about that a bit later. But when you got Nasaya kicking a Hill, kicking a Henry, kicking at goals, it's just a perfect combination. And
Yeah.
I think bringing Henry back into this team will only elevate Nasaya and Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Henry's a really good. I think he's very underrated. When he was
Yes.
healthy last year, like that Collingwood game when he obviously got injured, kicked
Yeah,
2,
he was almost our best player that game.
and the Brisbane
our
game.
best player in the Brisbane game, our best player in the Geelong game. He's always up there. It's just the
But
injuries kept
he's-
him out.
We've always struggled with the forward connection when we had King. He is a player that showed that he provides
Yeah.
that connection.
Yeah,
But one last thing that I want to mention before we move on is Jimmy Webster. We've talked about him a couple of times before.
Yeah.
He has been absolutely fantastic this start of the year, and he really did a job on Willie Rioli.
Yeah.
I
Killed
thought
it. Nowhere near
he
it.
always kills us. He always kicked 3 goals or whatever. I thought the way he was able to stop him getting into dangerous areas was fantastic.
Yeah, I almost thought that Rioli was a laid out because Webster kept him quiet
Yeah.
for so long. I think 8 touches and a behind. Like, he was nowhere on the score sheet.
Yeah, continues to get absolutely underrated by anyone other than Saints fans.
Yeah.
But, we've talked a lot about the game. We don't really want to talk about this game, though, do we?
Nah.
41 shots at goal. 41
Jesus Christ.
is crazy work.
I heard Dan Butler and Ari Schoenmaker both had to go in the midfield.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't get near it.
Yeah, so only 6 AFL players played because there was a lot of injuries, there was a lot of tests,
Yeah.
and obviously spending the 2 weeks up in Adelaide, so Boxall's going to be up in Adelaide.
Yeah, there were some
Barat.
carryover emergencies.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
he was there too.
Only the 6 at AFL or VFL level, sorry, but Schoenmaker was one of them. I thought
Mhm.
Schoenmaker was a lot better this week, and sort of we talked about it last week how he needs to be almost on a wing or
Yeah.
playing forward half, and that's what he was able to do at a midfield role. I don't think he'll come into the team this week, but
Yeah.
definitely showed a lot of promise, and I almost want to see him start next game at VFL level in the midfield instead of
might as
moving in
well.
there at halftime.
There's no reason not to try it, I suppose. Like, we played a little bit with it late, as you said, and it doesn't hurt him at all. Like, we know what he can do off of halfback. Like, he's already getting the touches. It's potentially finding that different aspect that gets him into the best 22.
It's still
That could work.
Yeah, and the tackling game is still something that needs to be worked on a little bit. I don't know if he had a tackle.
Did we?
No, again, he's not that defensive player.
Yeah.
So realistically, he's
So-
probably going to become a winger, maybe even
Yeah,
a half forward
but
type player.
Putting him in the
I
midfield
think he will eventually replace Wood.
Yeah.
will be able to develop that part of his game.
Mhm.
Henry,
Oh my god.
you go.
We have Footscray next week,
Jeez.
which are
Jeez.
a prelim finalist last year.
Jeez.
And
It's going to be tough.
I don't know if we bring players back for that game. I know Carroll's still out. Dow's nowhere
Yeah,
near.
Carroll's out for a couple of weeks.
I'd say Henry probably comes into the ones. So I think you might as well just play Ari in the mid. See what he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, it's difficult when we've got half our team in Adelaide.
Mm.
That would be performing in the twos. But yeah, Henry, as you were going to try say,
Yeah,
He-
Henry
he looks
was
good.
great. Had 20 disposals, kicked his goal. And yeah, he just showed enough to me on Sunday that he's probably got that fitness back to standard, and he's worked his butt off to get a spot in the ones, and
yeah,
I think we'll reward him with it, and we'll go into our changes later on. But Dan Butler as well, I don't think he really worked as hard this game. Obviously got put in the midfield.
He had 12 tackles, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, as it's him.
I mean,
Again,
like midfield craft.
yeah.
yeah. When they're getting the ball at literally every stage, you can't
Yeah.
not expect him to
Yeah.
be
He's
tackling
the
someone.
pressure king.
When you put him in the midfield, it's a position he's never had to play in his life.
Yeah.
And yeah, he didn't show enough to walk back into the AFL side just
Mhm.
yet. And Alex Taru's the big one, so
Yeah,
showed his signs as a young player would at VFL level, but got injured in the third, and he played out the game. Like, I think it was just a corky,
Yeah, that's good.
but yeah, like got injured, so obviously a bit rattled by it. Didn't go up for as many
I
marks.
heard he had a couple trademark grabs in the first half,
Yeah.
though, which obviously
And
shows
It's
good
really good.
signs.
So did Ali. Ali took a really good grab.
Of course
and
did.
Keep showing us why, mate. Keep showing us
Can't
why.
wait for him to be doing that.
Don't put the money
In
up
red,
too
white, and
much.
black.
Yeah, keep it about that 750, please.
Quickly, do we need a standalone team? I think I've said this
I
last
saw
week.
this commented a lot.
It's
I would. We
Yeah,
don't have the money.
It will cost us money to do it, and
Yeah.
it's money we don't have.
but North did it, didn't they?
Yeah, but
Yeah, like
They don't have
Carlton
money.
used to be the Bull Ants.
Yeah, North used to, I think, Port Melbourne,
Yeah.
but like North did it. Surely they don't have much money either.
I think we're fine waiting.
We got
just don't do it until we can get financially secure, because
Yeah.
we're still not fully out of debt. I don't believe.
I just feel like Tyru's not going to develop there. at
Again,
all.
it's not going
That's
to.
fair. But you look at our development, like over the past 2 or 3 years, it's
Yeah, but-
almost like it is a good spot to develop.
Yeah, but Lance's looks so much better in the AFL. compared
Yeah,
to
but
the
why
VFL.
do you think he looks so good in the AFL?
Because
Because he's had time to
Playing so
develop.
much in the VFL.
Yeah.
Again, if we do go independent, the only thing that's going to change is it's more so going to be a rebrand. It's still going to be the same team. It's just
Yeah.
going to be the St Kilda Saints as a VFL.
Yeah,
team.
and get
It's not going to
get
be
out
you
of-
get a Saints team and then the Zebras
I
as
just,
well.
Yeah.
I just hate the jersey and I hate the the Zebs. I just
Yeah, and get out
It's
of
not
Trevor
nice.
Barker Beach Oval.
Yes,
why don't
please.
they
Dumb.
play at RSCA? It's a
Yeah.
brilliant
Li-
ground.
Yeah.
Literally.
And injury-wise, we didn't have any injuries
Neither
at
games.
AFL level,
Mm-hmm.
but there's 4 players who could return.
Yes.
So
good to
Steele is one. He wasn't a late withdrawal, but he was taken out the
I
squad.
feel like he's
hear.
an
Yeah,
automatic
precautionary.
Yep, Steele
Yeah.
has to be automatic. King,
Yep.
I don't know, a bit split on King, whether I want him in or not for this game, but we'll touch on that
I
a
feel
little
like
bit.
if he just take Taylor out of the game as much as he could too.
Yeah.
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 'Cause
And
I
then-
think Keeler needs to. No offense to Isaac
Yeah.
Keeler, but you've
He's
you
a
need to go back.
second-year player
He needs to go back to the twos for a
or
bit.
third-year player.
Yeah, and then Butler and Henry are the other ones that
Mhm.
wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But overall, so who do we think will come in to this side to face GWS, guys?
I'll start. Sure. I think
Sure.
Steele comes in for Burns. I think that's the change. I like what we've seen from Garcia. I like what we've seen from Jones so far this year. I haven't had a problem with Travalia at all. And so I think Burns was the one who on the weekend was the one who sort of looked on the outer. We've still got those classy outside players who can kick the ball. And I think that having a bit more grunt can help.
Yeah.
And so I see that being a pretty clear switch. And then I see King obviously coming in for Keeler. Provides a bit more aerial support, allows Sharman and Owens to sort of not need to contest the ball when they shouldn't have to. And also, again, we'll see how it goes with the second ruck. But again, Owens probably does that a bit more than he has so far this year.
I hate him as the second rock.
Yeah.
I've got Steele obviously coming straight back in for either Hasty or Jones. I don't know which yet. I think
Yep.
Jones was a bit quiet on the weekend, and 11 touches, or at 100% to be fair. But I think like if you'd go on like for like, you'd go Steele straight in for him. But depends what they do. What they're trying to do against GWS. I think King versus Keeler is automatic in.
Yep.
Which if King's healthy, obviously, but if not, you keep Keeler out. And then Henry comes straight back in. I think Burns is probably out as outer, as Bem said before. If not, Hasty, because I know Ross loves Ronnie Burns so much.
Oh, he does.
So if it's not, I think it'll be one of those 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good point. I completely forgot about Henry. I think he does come in.
Yeah.
And I think I might see Max Hall come out.
Oh,
I think.
That's
stiff.
stiff.
I know it's stiff, but I think give him a couple more games in the twos and just make sure that he can get to that base level that we
Yeah.
haven't.
Are you going to play him in the mid and the twos?
Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
And he's a midfielder. He was a midfielder at Box
Or,
Hill.
or even put him as an emergency and allow Boxall to just stay in the midfield in the twos.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. And for me, I've kept it pretty simple. I've just gone with Steele and King in, Hasty and Keeler out, and then Jones or Burns is the sub for me.
No Henry?
No Henry. I think I want to give Burns one more game.
Yeah, well,
Fair.
Burns has looked really good this year. So I think
Yeah.
the first half
Yeah.
this week was pretty poor in, but
Mhm.
he deserves it.
Yeah.
One bad half.
It was. It was his poorest game almost of his career. And
Yeah.
high pressure game as well. He's not really suited to that.
Mm.
But
and on to fan voting now.
yes,
for
we can,
player
we
of the
can
week.
move on.
Got Nasaya Wanganeen Millera was voted as your senior of the week for
That
round
is-
4.
That's crazy. I wasn't expecting that. Did you get my 3 votes? You see
Yeah.
them in there? Yeah.
Yeah.
3 different votes. All Lance Collard though.
I love the Jack. But again, Naz, we've talked about him a lot. He was superb, back to his best. Surprised he only had the 3 marks, to be honest. I feel
Yeah.
like he was a bit more involved in the air than what he was.
Yeah.
But again, also got on the scorer sheet, so can't really complain about it
His goal was good.
whatsoever.
That was Stocker's goal, but his goal was good. Yeah.
Yeah. And for our voting, so I've gone with 1 vote for Lance Collard,
I like that.
2 votes for Jack Higgins, and 3 votes for Jack Sinclair. So I
Okay.
didn't actually have Nasai in there.
I don't think
Interesting.
any of us have Nass at the moment. I've got
Interesting.
Jack McRae as the one, I think. Just his clearance work and his
Yeah.
score involvements too was just he's just so good in the midfield for us.
Mhm.
Yep.
So he deserves the 1. I've got Jack Higgins with the 2, with just his goals and then obviously his score involvements too. I think everybody must have Jack Sinclair as a 3 again.
Mm-hmm.
That's 2 best ons in a row from him probably.
Yep.
For me, I haven't done it. I'm just going to do it off the top of my head. I think, to me, Jack Sinclair gets the 1.
Ooh.
He was very good, don't get me wrong.
Stiff.
But at the same time, I think we saw a couple of other standout performances. The
Fair.
2 votes for me it's a toss-up between 2 players. I think I'm going to go 2 votes to Jackie Higgins. sneaking in there.
Yep.
And then you won't guess who I'm going with the 3 votes. You won't.
Oh.
You get one guess each.
You go first. You
You get one guess.
Let me pull up the team that played on the weekend.
jeez.
You won't guess it.
You won't go. You're not going colour. Is it Wilkie by any chance?
It's not Wilkie. I thought it was kind of poor, to be honest.
Oh, I liked his intercept mark in that last quarter.
Again, Lord was pretty good in the second half, so can't really give him too much.
Is that the guy that lost?
You got one guess.
One
You got one guess.
This is tough. So have you gone so far? Higgins and Sinclair?
I've gone Higgins and Sinclair. Sinclair the 1, Higgins the 2.
Have you gone Darcy Wilson?
No, but he was so close to getting there. I've gone Liam Stocker simply for that tackle.
Stop.
I've gone Stocker simply for that tackle. That was some beauty. He learned from the Geelong game how to tackle on the chase. He learned how to tackle.
It was like a match-saving tackle.
It was because they were 100% kicking a goal, and then we kicked the goal. So it's a 12-point play. He learned to not get concussed in it too, so it was going to be again next week.
And then did we kick a goal straight away after?
Yeah, we did.
So that's what 18-point play basically.
12.
What, but then he kicked another one.
Don't know, but
Did we straight after?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. He was.
might be wrong.
He was awesome. I love him. I love Liam Stocker so much.
Yeah, everyone does.
If you couldn't tell.
He flies the flag.
Yeah.
He does. He flies it.
Bit like
true and
Garcia.
blue.
Yeah,
He bleeds red, white, and black.
which is
like you
we
can
need
say.
a lot of players like that.
Correct.
Looks good in a 14.
Yeah.
Shout out Jaden Geary again.
Who was it before Geary? It was.
Could not tell you.
I don't know.
Got no idea. You had it up before. You'd be able to tell us if
Yeah,
anyone.
but,
Give me a
but-
second. Keep talking.
Yeah, we'll now.
Time for the fan questions.
Yes,
so
fan questions.
It's going to look real weird when I clip it up and Cooper's going to come out with 14, but should we pay Naz overs? What do you think about that?
How can you
Yes.
not? How can you not? I mean,
Well, what is overs for Naz? Because overs
Nothing.
for Naz
There is no
would be
overs.
worth 2 million.
to be honest, from what we've seen so far, he's demanding at least 1.5. I reckon.
He deserves it too. He's going to be.
Yeah.
He'll be the best halfback in the game, and if not, he's
Yeah.
even already.
Yeah, arguably already.
I don't
3
think,
years, 2 years.
Don't think it'll be 1.5 base. I think it'll be a 1.5 front ended. And then
We've got a front end all the
go
contracts.
down over time. But
Oh, of course. Of course.
who
Who
was
was it?
14?
Luke Ball.
Luke. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
there you go.
There you are.
But yeah, I think we all agree that we should be paying Naz overs.
Mhm.
And for the next question, do we prefer a fully fit Dougal Howard or Caminiti?
Can I answer this again?
Yeah.
Why not both?
Why not both?
Yeah. Why not both?
I know 5, but it's a bit too far.
Come on. You can have them both. You might as well.
Yeah.
100%. We saw it in 2020. Wilkie played that third role. You had Jake Carlisle and Dougal Howard all playing together.
It's
He
broke
kind
up.
of looks like Jake Carlisle.
That was one of Duke's. Well, that was probably his best year
Yeah.
with us. No offense to him.
Well,
Duke's last year was pretty good
think
too.
about
Yeah, but he was, what, second in BNF 2020?
Yeah,
Yeah,
think about the
probably.
2 best teams that played on the weekend. They've all got 3, Adelaide and Gold Coast. They've all got 3.
2 best teams, Adelaide and Gold Coast.
Yeah, they played on the weekend.
Yeah. Fair. Oh, yeah,
They've all
fair.
got 3 key forwards, like Walter,
Mm-hmm.
Ethan Reid, Ben King,
Yeah.
and Thilthorpe, Walker,
Fogarty.
and Fogarty. Have you seen his tattoo?
I mean, yeah, oh my God. That's a completely other thing. We don't need to talk about that. He went at Higgins for saying
Yeah.
he doesn't like Adelaide. Fair enough.
Oh, that was so funny.
That was
You can tell
I
that was
love
going to get clipped straight
and then
away.
he
Yeah.
posts on his story he's playing COD right now.
Of course.
So funny. But I think, yeah, even if you look at Brisbane, they've got 3 key forwards basically. You got Hipwood, and then you got Logan Morris, and Cam Rayner's basically playing that role as well. That's 3 key forwards.
Yeah.
Along their plethora of smalls. You look at a fully fit Fremantle, you got Jackson or Darcy playing there, and then you got Amos and Tracy.
Yeah.
Like, you've got those 3 key forwards. The Bulldogs, Darcy, Norton, and Ugle-Hagan, they've got those 3 key forwards. So having someone like Caminiti, Wilkie, and then maybe Taru or O'Connell as your third tall is really pushing
Yeah.
it. It's really pushing
Yeah.
it.
And Dougal Howard gets a lot of crap, but he's good.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's very serviceable.
Yes.
It's kicking a bit, but
He's
Yes.
a lot
Him and
better than,
Caminiti
I
both
love
have that.
Cordy, but
Oh, God.
you'd rather play Howard than Cordy.
We love the Zote, okay? The Zote did wonders for us in 2023.
Oh, that
But
Geelong game.
it
As
is
went
time to
forward.
move
I
on.
remember before that Geelong game, I was at the Collingwood-Brisbane game, and I was
Yeah.
just with Collingwood supporters, and they're like, who's going to lock up Tom Hawkins? I'm like, what do you mean, mate? Zane Cordy's playing. Then he locked up Tom Hawkins.
Yeah.
Like, he's
Hey,
the GOAT.
that 2023 season will forever live in our hearts with him.
Out of nowhere too.
It is time
Yeah.
to move
What, he
on.
kicked two
We've
in
got
his
a
first
couple.
game?
It is.
Yes.
Last question.
Yes.
Do we address the gaping hole every time Rowe goes off? And yes, but we won't be doing it in round 5. We will be doing it come October when we sign TDK.
Well, it's almost as if when your best ruckman and arguably your best player comes off the ground, it's very difficult to replace him no matter who comes on. You look at any team. When Max Gawn's not in the ruck, they struggle. When Tim English is on the ruck, the Bulldogs struggle. When Luke Jackson's not in the ruck, Fremantle struggle. Like, it's obviously going to happen when arguably your best player is not in there. And he doesn't need to hit the hit-outs. He doesn't need to dominate around the ground or in the air. He knows what he provides to this team. He can go forward and kick a goal when we need to. He gets involved around the ground. He's one of the only ruckmen that can actually push 30 touches in a game.
True.
So it's like, yeah.
There's only one other that can do it, I reckon. And
Go on.
TDK.
Yep, he's almost had like 330.
We're going to win a flag next year.
Yeah,
God.
This year too, mate. We got Lancey Collard in the team.
Oh, this team is... we're going to be stacked in 2 years.
But like, imagine... Okay, it would be great to have like a proper second ruck when fully fit, but unless Keeler plays alongside Marshall, Sharman and Owens, it's not going to happen this year.
And King.
Well, as in, like, that's my point.
Okay.
Like,
Disrespect
got
to Max
King.
Heath.
I think it's time to move on from Max Heath, let alone moving on from Rowan Marshall. But anyway, it's pretty dumb to say that you need to address the gaping hole when obviously when your best player's not in there, it's going to be a gaping hole.
I think
Not
Mitch Owens
overly.
held his own.
I think
on
it's
the
just
weekend.
we
He was
don't want
rucking
Owens in
against
the ruck.
Lions, but still.
But who
Yeah.
else do we put in there?
The problem also is when we do bring in someone, you've got no proper key tall. And that's where the hole probably starts, not in the midfield. Because that midfield holds our own.
People were stupid for suggesting Max kicking the ruck too.
Oh, I
Completely.
saw that.
That
Was
is-
that a comment
oh
on the
my
podcast?
God.
That is so bad.
We're worried about his injuries and his
8
knee injuries,
What
and
is
we
he
want
on?
to chuck
A
him in the ruck.
6, 7, 8
Yeah.
year extension, whatever
you
it
thought
is.
Kane Collins hated St Kilda. Like, could you imagine if we put King in the ruck?
Bro, if he hates us playing a backup ruckman as our backup ruckman,
Oh.
Isaac Keeler, can you imagine what
Never
he's going
heard
to
of him.
do?
He hates St Kilda in general.
Yeah, he does. He does.
But yeah, look, and I don't exactly remember who put this question in, but I can almost guarantee you that most of the people who say that, like, do we need to address Rowan Marshall coming off the ground, we need a second ruck in the team,
Mhm.
are the exact same people who are like, 1.5 million is too much for Tom de Koning.
Yeah. It's not though, because it'll be front ended, and the
Yeah.
salary cap's going to go up,
Mhm.
He'll
In
be on
years to
2
come.
million at the start of his deal, and it will go down
and then his
Yeah.
contract's going down, so it means nothing.
as the salary cap goes up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Well, really good discussion there. We
Yeah.
love the questions. As I said in the start, make sure to send them in via Saints Nation AU on Instagram.
I'd love some more
Does it
Lance
every
Collard
week.
questions.
Yes,
Yeah.
we need an entire
If
section
anyone
on Lance Collard.
knows, we're trying to get in contact with the club. Anyone knows how we can get like a little Lance Collard appearance on the podcast?
Just a video we can put up.
Venmo, just pay him $5
Yeah.
to do it.
We'll pay for it.
Will we?
I'll pay for it.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
Just to satisfy you, Cooper, because
That'd
we
be
know
great.
you love Lance Collard.
Love you, Lance. Love you.
But just onto a bit of a preview for next week's
Here we
game.
go.
Well, let's
Big.
first recap what we said last week because someone is a genius over here. We have an absolute
Our round four
maestro.
predictions.
Wowee.
My bias finally comes in.
Yes, well, you said Saints going to win by 8 points and Jack Higgins recreates goal of the century.
Didn't happen.
He played very well, did kick 3 goals, but none of them were goal of the century, unfortunately. I said that Saints would win by 5 points, and we almost did if we didn't kick those last 2 goals. But unfortunately, Cooper Shulman definitely did not kick 5 goals. But Cooper, man, oh man, oh man.
I know ball. That's all I could say. I could see it coming. Lancey Collard, Sealer. It was always going to happen.
Lancey Collard still, but not Saints by 13.
I'll take that.
Very
Really
close.
good. Really good. He didn't kick 6.
I
He
completely
didn't kick
forgot
6.
about that at all.
But that doesn't matter. He kicked the sealer. And that's what matters, isn't it?
He kicked 6 in my heart.
We'll save
As
our
always,
round
as
5
always.
predictions for very last. But how do we feel going into this game against GWS? We match up against them very well. It's always been close. That final was a bit of a... wasn't a smashing, but
Yes.
We kept coming, but
it wasn't close. But we match up against GWS pretty well. It's at a neutral venue. I've got my hopes up a lot more than I did last week against Port.
be a great win.
But yeah, how are we feeling going in?
Already tipping us to win, are you?
I said it would be
Pretty
a great
quick,
win.
okay.
It would.
Okay, let's look at positional matchups. Our back line against their forward line. You got
Yep.
Cadman, dare say goes to Caminiti. Pretty similar physical side there. Wilkie has to go to Hogan. There's no other option. Could we potentially see Liam O'Connell back in, theoretically,
Ooh,
and
I
maybe
haven't
going
even-
to a Callum
I was
Brown
thinking that.
type, even a Jake
Callum
Stringer?
Brown is the type of player that could just tear this game apart.
Yeah,
String kicked a goal last week.
he did.
You'd think so.
Yes, he did.
Oh, I was watching the first half. He just
He-
kept missing them.
He, I think he did kick a goal.
No, he hasn't.
No,
Of
he
course.
hasn't.
Kicked
Oh,
0
wow.
goals, 5
Okay,
as a
he's gonna-
Giant.
he's gonna
He
kick 10
loves-
goals.
He
He'll kick
loves
10.
to turn it on against us.
Yeah.
Just like
Does.
Jason
Oh, that
Francis.
Essendon game
Yeah.
last week.
Last year, yeah, that was a shocker.
No, yeah, last
What did he kick?
Oh,
0 goals,
yeah, yeah.
2, and then 0
So,
3 the week before.
Darcy Jones, I'm pretty confident Webster can do a good job on
Where can
him.
we get
No, Webster goes to Green.
You think Webster goes to
Webster
Green?
has to go to Green.
Or who goes to Daniels? Is-
Daniels will go to Naz,
Very tough.
and then I dare say Sinclair will go to Darcy Jones. That's where I'm seeing it. Sinclair. They'll want to put Daniels to Naz because Daniels likes to get up and he probably plays that tagging role. Bedford maybe goes to McRae if you're talking midfield, but then again, we don't really have someone who can just go out and tag. So maybe he plays a bit more forward of the ball. They don't really have any injuries either, so they're
I'll
pretty
check it
healthy.
No.
But their midfield could absolutely kill us. Tom Green, Finn Callahan. I think Cornelia will be back. They've still got Kelly.
Jesus Christ.
It's going to
Yeah.
be very tough.
Sort of. I'm looking.
Who do we tag?
You got to tag.
You got to
Green.
tag
You agree?
Green,
I think it's Green.
and then don't let Callahan go
keep,
to.
keep
Yeah,
Callahan in your
stupid.
super coach's
I think
voice.
I think maybe Hugo, assuming they stay in the team, Hugo goes to Callahan, and then maybe Steele goes to Green, and then you have McRae on Cornelio would be the other spot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
they've got no injuries at all.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
it's a very tough game. That
And I'm looking at their back line right now. So they've got Himmelberg on the bench. So
yeah, it's him. It's what
Buckley,
it's
Taylor. Those are
Taylor,
the three
Buckley, Himmelberg,
key
and Iden.
defenders. They've got Whitfield and Ash, who
Yeah,
like
they're halfbacks.
halfbacks, but they're
Yeah.
not defensive.
No,
Stone or Iden?
Connor Stone.
Who do you
He-
think goes to Higgins?
Iden goes to Higgins. I'm pretty confident in that. I dare say Lockie Whitfield will go to our best like lockdown small forward, so probably
Yeah.
Brad Hill. That's who we always put to them for whatever reason.
Yep.
Lockie Ash goes to Collard. Again, he's probably going to be able to want to try run off him. Collard does have the speed. It's just whether he's able to stay with him in terms of physicality. And then obviously if King comes in, Taylor goes to
Yep,
him.
and
Buckley
then-
goes to Sharman. And then Himmelberg probably goes to Owens.
Yeah, so this is a Lance Collard game.
Yes.
How do we win this?
Smalls.
The way
Smalls.
I think
Mosquito fleet. Fast-paced mosquito fleet.
yeah, don't allow intercept marks. If Buckley and Taylor are able to get over the top of us, they showed a couple weaknesses. I thought against West Coast they weren't actually fantastic.
They
Yeah.
only
They should've won
the-
by a lot
They only
more.
won the inside 50 count by 7.
Yeah,
Which in a 80-point game is not.
yeah. I mean, they had
Amazing.
23 more marks inside 50.
Yeah, it's,
But, you
yeah,
know,
it is.
I think they could potentially have the issue where it's such a easy game for them. They're not necessarily match fit, and I
Would
can't
love
remember if
that.
they had the bye the week before. Because if they did, that's
yeah.
kind
They
of
did. They did.
yeah. So that's almost 2 buys in a row. It's a really
Oh,
tough game.
yeah.
If we bring the pressure,
Oh.
they could very well struggle.
Start fast, win.
Correct.
Pretty much.
So, if we want to go predictions now, I want to finish off with mine. What about you, Will? Where do you see this game going?
I obviously Saints podcast, so you go to the Saints.
Mhm.
I say we
What's
win
the
by. Say we win by 12.
12.
And
Okay.
my prediction. So Eli Templeton
What is?
Hey,
will
whoa.
come out of retirement mid-game, sort of Royal Rumble style when John Cena came
Jeez.
back at pick.
Does
30.
he get the 4? What is he back in the 43?
He'll
43. No, you
whatever
can't give him
number-
either.
Whatever number we give him, he's gonna come
Cooper.
back.
Oh yeah, of course.
You're gonna get the 10-1 on the screen. His music's gonna play. I don't know what his music is, but he's gonna come back. He's gonna kick the match-winning goal. Eli Templeton.
Okay.
Now a realistic
Love
prediction, or that's just
Do you want a realistic one?
Yeah.
Lance Collard kicks 5.
that.
Yeah, that is
So we're
realistic.
gonna have kick 5 and kick 8. Is that what it's gonna be?
Ooh.
I've got a tough contest. I feel like they
Yeah.
will have probably the better of us, but I have a feeling they won't kick straight. So Saints win this by 3. We pinch it.
By 3.
By 3.
Ooh, that's tough.
It's going to be Jack Higgins will kick another 4. and Jack McRae, I know I said it last week, will finally kick his goal.
Okay,
Yeah.
I
And
could
we'll
see
win
that.
We're down by, I reckon, 20
Mm-hmm.
early in the second. Then we claw our way back.
I reckon Lance just starts activating God mode.
What about we put Lance at the first centre bounce? See what happens.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
What about you, Ben?
I think obviously we're playing at a really difficult ground, Norwood Oval. It's got the pill shape,
No wings.
the horrible wings. I think that affects both of us pretty poor. They are known as the orange tsunami, so they want to get the ball movement going. So do we. I
Mhm.
think we try to use the width a bit more, but again, when it's a lot more of a condensed ground, they can't really get their handball movement going through the midfield because it's a lot more squished in. So both teams are probably going to struggle a bit more with the ball movement. So I see, honestly, us losing. I think that they're a more talented team. They're a more experienced team. Boo, yeah, it's the same part.
You did not just say it on a Saints Nation podcast.
Okay, we win by 100. How about that?
That is
Yep.
better.
That's better.
Sounds about right.
Bem says Saints win by 100. So
I think I
Flip
think
that.
Giants win by 8 or 9 points. I don't think we're going to get blown out for sure.
hate
I think
that.
we keep it close. We played them last year and we kept it close towards the end. Almost
Came
snagged it
back,
off them.
Yeah.
Almost snagged it off them. So close.
Was it?
But
They don't have Pete Lynn anymore to take that mark. Yeah.
they don't.
They're done. We win.
You reckon they played illegally just to prove it to us?
Prove it.
Yeah.
Prove what?
Ooh.
How good he is.
What?
Just
Trade
so
value wise.
drive
Just
off
like-
his price.
It's just like the Harley Reid bird to you.
But what if he plays horrible and then we get him for cheaper? And
That's only better for
I'll take
us. I'll get correct. Do it, please.
he might match fix.
But I think
Like I don't know what Miles
Bergman was
should've-
basically match fixing that first half.
Thank you,
He
Miles.
kicked it to
Yes.
us a lot.
I don't know what number you're going to be in, but I cannot wait to see you in Saints colours next year.
What number does he get? We can't give him the 15 or the 14. Does he get the 23? Who's the 23?
Was Dowdy
Oh,
contract?
Henry's 23.
I think
Damn.
DeConey gets the 15.
Maybe he
Dowdy
gets number
the
3,
15.
Zachy Jones.
Maybe.
No, that's horrible.
No.
Okay, I want to
Philip-
get back to my
Phil-
prediction.
Philip on a 3.
Yeah, Philip on
It
the
should have
three,
been in
that's
a
good.
5. St Kilda
Yeah.
missed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. But back to my prediction. I think if this is a game we really perform, I think it's Sharman's week. He's had a couple
Oh, that'd
quiet
be good.
games.
Again.
I did go with
Sharman's
Sharman last week, but if you've got King in and Owens, I think they're going to really struggle to guard those two. And then Himmelberg likes to get off of his player to intercept the ball.
King back.
If Himmelberg is on Sharman, I could really see Sharman getting dominance through the air. That's
Yep.
all I'll say. And I'll say, obviously,
3
Giants
goals
winning
this time.
by 8 or 9.
Oh,
I know you don't like me for it,
Giants by 8 or 9.
but gotta be realistic.
Bam.
As Saints fans, we know what realism is.
This is why
Okay.
you're
We're 3-1.
that's why
They're
you're
also 3-1.
stranded at zero access footy.
Hey, that's not nice.
As the are you the co-host at zero access footy, or are you just
I'm the god of zero access footy.
Has GWS ever played at Norwood before?
Good
yes?
question.
They lost to Hawthorn there.
Oh,
Mate,
did
oh
they
no, or did they beat Hawthorn there?
I
Well,
can't
been
remember.
2
2023.
rounds now.
They didn't play because we played there last year, so I don't think they would have played there last year. Check.
They didn't. They played Mount Barker. The
Yeah.
year before, though, they might have. Let's have a look.
They played Hawthorn.
Would have been around 5.
It was a close game from what I remember. But we played like
Giants won by 2 at
2
Norwood.
points. Yeah. Okay. So they do have experience.
Yeah, but Hawks sucked. Hawks sucked that year.
True.
So that's not a- that's
so
not
we're
a
gonna
good
win
win.
by 100.
That's not a good win.
Ben's gonna be right.
Okay, we'll win by 100. That's
then
my
again,
final
we-
prediction. And
We barely bet it wouldn't.
Callum
score
Wilkie
last year.
kicks 5 goals. Screw it. Callum Wilkie, the
Alright.
goat.
So he kicks 5 off in the back pocket, and
Yes.
we still lose.
What's more likely,
Yes.
Eli Templeton comes out retirement, or Callum Wilkie kicks 5 goals?
Eli Templeton, easily.
Roland Marshall gets 3 Brownlow votes. That's more likely.
Yeah, all right. But yeah, I think that's it for.
Fergus Green had 3 goals in that game. Shout
Oh.
out Fergus Green.
Where's he now?
Doing the outro.
Sorry.
Mal's mate.
Yeah,
he
us,
was
no.
a good
Mouse
Supercoach
mate.
rookie.
Friend of the
But,
show, Fergus Green.
But anyway, I think that's it for
Mhm.
episode 3 of the Saints Nation podcast.
Yes.
And episode 3 wins in a row.
We are the
And
reason.
We are the reason.
I'm claiming it for now. We are the reason.
Well, you have tipped against us, which I hate. So
But
What do you mean? It's because Lancey Gollard's going to get dropped. That's the only reason we're going to lose.
whoa.
that's fine.
Hey,
Fighting
we're 3-0 with Lance Gollard. If we get rid of him for Liam Henry, that'd be the only reason I could say.
But,
I won't rock up next week if Lance Collard's not playing.
Yeah.
That'll be me done.
Hey, I'll take that.
I'll be part of the.
What is bro on about?
I'll be part of the Zeb's Nation podcast.
Says
Zeb's
Nation.
Nation.
Wow.
Maybe
Okay.
if they won a game.
Okay. Well,
Yep. think that's it. And thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to rate us 5 stars on Spotify, subscribe, comment, like, and have something special coming with memberships, hopefully at the start of next episode. So
Very nice.
Be
Very
tune
nice.
in to the socials for that.
Yes,
and
please.
see you guys in episode 4.